Right. Hi guys, I'm going to talk to you about my current EDC knife that I have now completely busted, and it's time to get another one. It is a fairly budget-friendly knife, and I'm thinking about going for a little bit of a more expensive one just because I would like some features that my current knife doesn't have. The knife I'm talking about is the Spyderco Tenacious. Okay, this is a cheap knife considering how long I've had it for. This has been in my pocket and gotten hard use for 6 years, and now it finally gave up and it's time to get another one. It's made in China, and then the steel is called the 8CR13 MOV. I know very little about steels, so I don't know what that is actually. What I do know is that this one has been extremely hard to sharpen. I've heard from people that know a lot more than me about knives that this is supposed to be easy to sharpen. This one is not. I have 2 of these, and the other one I have is super easy to sharpen. Has a fairly okay edge retention, but super easy to sharpen. This one is a pain, and I've tried a few different versions or methods on how to sharpen, and nothing seems to work on this one. So my impressions of this knife, which is I would guess a long time test, 6 years. I really like it. I think the blade geometry is fine. This is my first knife with a partially serrated edge. I wasn't sure I was going to like it, but since I got it, it's basically, I don't think I want a knife that doesn't have it anymore. One of the big reasons for me is I cut a lot of zip ties, and I only have one eye that works at the same time. I can't use both at the same time, which means I have poor depth perception. So for me, snagging on to the zip tie and cutting like that, just pulling, is better than trying to saw like this, or and it gives me, I can feel when I'm on the zip tie, and I can just pull it. I really like the serrated edge, so my next one will likely have that. I don't know. Comments are more than welcome because I need tips here. So the blade geometry, the blade size is perfect for me. Another thing that I notice is when I look at different videos and stuff, is that I don't really get much of a reference because I don't know what kind of hands people have. I have big hands. These are XXL hands, and they're wide here, and I've got long fingers and stuff. So the knife can't be too small. At the same time, I want one that isn't too big for my pocket, and this one is nice and slim like this, which is nice. I like the G10 scales on it. I think it works really well. It's a good grip. It works with gloves on as well, and that's okay. One thing I do not like on this one is the pocket clip, which I should have a long time ago swapped for a deep carry pocket clip, because I have some pants with zippers, and I would like this to slide in nicely, and I close the zipper almost all the way up to the clip. This one doesn't really do that because too much of it sticks up on top. So that's one thing I would prefer on my next knife, is a better pocket clip. What else to say about this one? I mean, I've been pulling this one out of the pocket several times a day and do things that are unplanned with it. If I plan to do things, I bring a fixed blade, and I bring the right fixed blade for what I'm supposed to do then. So this is a bit of an oh crap knife. So I would like it to be perhaps a little bit thicker in the blade stock, because what finally killed this one, and this is a sturdy knife, what finally killed it was I torqued it too much, and basically I popped the screws out of the scales, and it's warped, and it's now it's dead. I don't trust it anymore. I think if I put enough pressure on it like this, I will probably jump out of the lock. So I need something that is a little bit tougher, especially if I'm spending a bit more money. I don't want to buy a $200 knife and have it break on me, because the way I use folders, it's usually, well, sometimes it's planned, but usually it's not planned. So that one is a little bit important to me. Just as a bit of a curiosity, I can also show you my other Tenacious, which is this one. This is the same steel. It is the normal plain blade. And I've put desert ironwood scales on here. So yes, we are talking about $50 horse and a $200 saddle here. The reason I did this was because for my dad's 70th birthday, I wanted to make sister knives, one for him and one for me. And I thought this was the perfect knife because he uses it the way I do. I thought it would be the perfect knife, and by putting nice scales on it, it's personal, it lasts, and because the knife itself is so cheap, I can get several Tenaciouses and have them in the drawer, and when they're finally dead, I can just put the scales over onto the new knife. So this is basically my gentleman's beater, and I really like it, and I don't think that there are many of these out there. I think these two are pretty unique, which I also like. And like I said before, this one takes an edge super easily. It doesn't get as much use as the other one, so I don't know if the edge retention is better or not, but I know that it's a hell of a lot easier to sharpen. So I don't know what's happened with this one. I bought them a couple of years apart. I don't know why it's done this, but that's the way it is. So then comes the discussion what I should be getting instead. It's not strictly speaking legal to carry a pocket knife in Sweden where I live, but since I don't get into any trouble, I don't do anything illegal, and I'm not part of boisterous crowds, if you like, or anything like that. No one stops me randomly and searches me. If something happens and they should find a knife on me, the police are not going to do anything or complain about it unless it looks like a tactical, overly military interested person, or you look like you're going, I don't know, not paintballing, what's it called, airsoft or something like that. So I want the knife to look a little bit non-threatening, my next knife. I'd like thicker blade stock. I'd like a better steel. Ideally, I want the partial serration. It can't be too small. So I've looked at the... I also have an idea that I would like to try one with the axis lock from Benchmade. So I've been looking at the Mini Adamas, but it looks military. I've looked at the bailout, which is also, again, looks military. I've looked at the bug out, which I think might be a little bit too small for my stupid hands. I've been looking at the Freak, which I think looks nice, but then someone's told me that the handle is actually kind of slippery, which is not great. I'm not too worried about corrosion for the use that I have, so it doesn't need to be a very corrosion-resistant steel. I really don't know what I should get. Maybe some tips from you guys would be very welcome on this. I like the concept of a military strength knife, so the Mini Adamas seem to be a nice knife for me, but it just looks so aggressive, and if I whip that out somewhere, people will notice it, whereas this one, it looks like if you look at these two knives have the same capabilities, exactly the same capabilities, and this one looks like a military, I don't know, at least to the untrained eye, this looks more aggressive than this one. So either I need it to look very, very discreet, or if it's one that has a bit of color, like I see that the Freak does, it looks a bit friendlier. I don't know. It depends on your preferences, I suppose. But I'm open to suggestions. What am I looking for? I'm looking for better steel, fairly thick, like an overbuilt knife, really. I want a deep carry pocket clip. alternatively one that I know will fit well with an aftermarket deep carry pocket clip. I don't need aggressive jimping. I don't need anything like that. But and I don't like particularly the what's it called? The glass fiber scales. I want something better than that. The problem I have here in Sweden is that there aren't any shops where I can just go in and handle a knife. I have to rely on mail order, and I need to rely on all these videos that are posted on YouTube to find out a lot about it. But without the reference frames available to me, I don't really know. The ones that are very knowledgeable are of course also more spoiled because they have several knives and they spend a lot more money on knives than I do. So it's a little bit hard to know which one to get. The other thing is that I'm going to have to order it from the US. I don't particularly want one made in China again. I need to order it from the US, and returning things are, it's a pain in the ass. So ideally I need to know that it comes from a company with a good quality control reputation, which I know that Spyderco has. I know that there's been talk about Benchmade not having had that, but they seem to be okay now. I've heard complaints about Bark River on their fixed blades. I've had some dealings with Bark River on the fixed blades, and I have absolutely nothing negative to say. I think those guys are great. I also have some experience with some Swedish makers. We have the Swedish Fällkniven, but they seem a little bit too fancy, and they cost a lot of money, or you get a really tiny one. So any suggestions are good. It would be really cool if you guys posted videos as a response, like look at this, not just a line saying get the Griptilian or what about zero tolerance, or get 5 buck knives or something like that. You know, well thought through feedback and ideas is really welcome. So that's all for me. I also can say again, Spyderco's Tenacious, I understand it's now available in a better steel. But this has been fantastic, and I'm gonna miss it. I stick this in my pocket, and I mean, it goes with me everywhere. So, or maybe I just get another Tenacious. We'll see. Thanks for listening, guys, and looking forward to your comments. Bye-bye.